Well, I just had a wonderful day at online church. I, for the first time live, was a part of a broadcast Christian community. And it creeped me out the second day I was there because they started talking about the end of the Bible and going to be invited by Trump and how Trump was basically doing what they said the Antichrist was supposed to eventually do somehow and eventually create something they thought was not working 2,000 years ago, eventually one day, and history repeats itself in the old philosophers' minds, but maybe not if you learn. Anyways, that's not what this is about. This is about the social network of Christ. We're getting more comfy, more capable, more readily able to spread the word in this crisis because, as always, we've made it more convenient. Now, there's been a lot of this thing going around, but I was watching a documentary about Chris Cuban the other night, and even though I don't hope anyone chooses to try to profit off this like the rest of the broadcast Christians typically have to create their network. Um, in this, it's sort of like an independent revolution, getting away from the contrived Hollywood image of mass broadcasting. But Mark Cuban came up with a first and founded .com called broadcast.com. He was pretty smart to get called that name before anybody else did. But now, .org is probably where the Christian network should place itself. But anyways, I think it's going to be interesting to see how this modern day online broadcast of churches from anywhere, anytime, any place can connect throughout the world so Christians can truly see how Christians on any square inch of this planet are thinking, are experiencing, are talking about, are living, are interpreting in their lives through the Bible, are going to be able to create a mind-boggling capacity to take a huge leap in the name of God and through our communions to seek out, I guess it is truly that unity, that sense of stuff. I mean, I'm no preacher, so don't expect me to blow your mind right now, but I can sense it, and it inspires me. They asked me a question. I was the only one that answered it wrong, but they were like, "What? We do this, we do that, and what do we share?" I was like, "Hope." I was like, "Oh, I thought it was solutions. So sharing solutions gets us to come to the best solution, and just makes sense." Why vote on a couple solutions when everyone can just keep hollering out solutions till everyone's like, "Oh, wait, no, that's probably the right one." Oops. Oh, well, anyway, it's still democracy. You just got to keep coming up with ideas until one just rings like a Liberty Bell. And everyone's just like, that's actually very simple, very easy, very capably possible. I don't know why we're voting on this or that or the other, but sharing solutions, because solutions create hope. You can't just be optimistic and send the message of hope without recognizing hope comes from the fact that through prayer, asking ourselves, without, sending these thoughts like, oh, he did this wrong, or I did this wrong, or that's so wrong. We think to ourselves, what could I do? What can I do? What is at the core of what I'm looking for? That's what prayer is about, because when you send that conscious message into a space into which your thought isn't talking to you, it's the place in your mind, the place in your heart, and the place interconnected to everything and everywhere that the Lord touches, that ultimately sends us like a dream in our woken life, a solution. We can only hear that solution, engage that solution through the presence of knowing that solution's coming. If not, you might get stuck into some ranting asshole talking about a final solution. There's never a final solution. Life is ever adaptive, changing, and going on, moving. Always know the world is created through a never-ending hope to create that solution. The solution after solution after solution after solution. Once you think there's a final solution, it's over. I'm making a video recording. So, when you think about how to variably create that, through hope, through prayer, and through healing, I believe this is the Lord's internet. This is the unseen internet. And through the real internet, we will broadcast preachers from all over the planet with all kinds of words, all kinds of interpretations, all kinds of ideas based on their specific circumstances, which is diverse. Thus, we must be diverse. And openly, honestly, exchanging feelings, experiences, realities into which someone might not grasp in their time and place in this world. But these solutions are timeless. That's why sharing them is the democracy. Sharing the truth, sharing the prayers, the thoughts, the beliefs will just eventually get us to that place where everyone just hears that little Liberty Bell, grasping that and interpreting that in this, therefore, in their own local position, in their diverse place, till essentially that gap lessens. Somebody living in the projects and somebody, at a country club experiences Christianity very differently. Trust me. But that doesn't mean either one of them is above or below one another in the heart of that which really saves us. The thoughts, the hopes, the dreams, the things that we seek out for everyone equally, earnestly, honestly, and naturally, which we can create in our lives for ourselves and through the hope, the prayers, and the social closening of ourselves. I come from a community which was architected by a community planner to eliminate what one once saw in a variable of classism in a different, kind of society where people sort of in projects and country clubs never really talk to each other. How can we be unified if he doesn't know what he's going through and he doesn't grasp why he can't understand, how you perceive things is not what I'm experiencing here. It's a big gap. It's a very big gap. But again, like Mark Zuckerberg tried to interconnect college kids for a youthful experiment unto which we knew we were experiencing a uh, generation with rocket fuel, capable of communications, of sharing, of grasping the fact how interconnected we truly are and thus are about to be. Through Facebook, through a social media platform. We were all using AIM when we were in high school. We knew something big was going on. At first, it just seemed like, hey, this is great. Nobody, who's ever been able to have this level of social conversation so massively in a position unto which we might not be able to ride our bikes to our friends' houses or do this or do that, get on the internet, get our homework done with references and easily accessible answers so much better, so much more clear, so much more amazingly through the World Wide Web. But again, prayer is the unseen thought, the unseen answers, the unseen variables into which we on God's internet are interconnected and share something only God can see. Because God only knows what you've been through. God only knows, you know? So, creating this parallel between the World Wide Web and God, now in this position that we're in, I really do believe prayer and Christian healing is going to come through. It is going to make the vaccine of vaccines. And it is through this variable prayer, which is going to be consistent and well seen throughout the planet, that we are going to figure out how essentially social optimizing is critical right now. You know, at the churches, they really focus on re-distancing themselves from the term social distancing because they know that's not a good idea. They don't want people to get the wrong idea. They say social distancing, but they say physical distancing. Don't stop socializing with each other. You know, the face to face is the greatest thing you have. And seeing and feeling the full communication of how people live, how people feel, how people want you to sense optimism is how we create vaccines against hate, against COVID-19, which is biological, but every modern scientist knows through many modern journals, uh, isolating yourself has actually produced a lower immune system and thus putting us in a weaker place. So, and nothing's absolute, nothing's perfect, but physical distancing and social optimization. That's critical right now. So, so what does social optimization mean? That means optimizing our worldwide internet connection with each other through God in and on a broadcasting stream which is not, I don't know, contrived like Hollywood contrives a film or a plot. You know, this is the start of independent broadcasting of the Word of God, which means it's raw, it's real, it's honest, it's brilliant, it's open, it's going to give you a diversity of options, of choices, of circumstances you can find yourself in. And the further we multiply these things is, one of my favorite alternative songs as a child, not a Christian one actually, but it expressed lyrics which, in the end, wanted you to know you're not the only one who feels this way. And that's critical to the ultimate variables of psychological therapy, not with a psychologist necessarily, but understanding these aren't, fear and different things aren't unique. These are common things. And when you grasp that, it's empowering because you know you're not the only one. You're not alone. And that's what God's all about. So Jesus Christ is all about. And the more you wake up to this, the more optimistic, the more socially optimized your perspective on the world can and should and will be, the better your immune system says, not today, not tomorrow, not the day after. You can take me whenever you want, Lord, but honestly, unless somebody wants to do something so drastic, no, not today. Not for some COVID-19. Because this is the way, this is the vaccine of vaccines. But naturally, eating healthily and doing literally getting nutrients to enhance your immune system and various things are very good. COVID-19 can mutate through long periods in a weak body, but it can also be quickly destroyed by optimizing your immune system. And at the core of optimizing your immune system is social optimization. Now, there's a lot of people out there who manage social optimization in constructs unlike Christianity. That's good. That's all right. That's perfectly fine. God throughout the ages has come to us in so many different forms and in so many different ways. And I know I'm not talking polytheistic. I'm just talking about social optimization. We've got different languages, we've got different interpretations, we've got different things. It's diversity, it's the fruits of life. And although oranges and real fruit is critical to your immune system, which I highly suggest, think about that. This is not a time to shut anybody out who seeks a good life, who seeks to be socially optimizing the overall hope for us to be codependently working with smiles on our faces, joking with each other, loving each other, and being one. And that's what this is about. The birth of independent, online, word of the Lord. There's been a lot of independent movements for all sorts of different reasons, but for some reason, only a small amount of churches have chosen to get online. Now, I hope this doesn't take people away from going to the church. I hope people absolutely, once this COVID-19 thing is over, continue seeing each other in person, face-to-face networking. Any good businessman knows you can't just network online. You gotta go to networking events. You gotta meet people. You gotta get a real feel for them in real life. Just as any good socialization takes place, whether that's to spread the word, whether that's to make a friend, to play a game, or enhance your networking optimization for your professional career and service to this world in a more practical sense. Service in terms of social optimization and religion and all that is, don't pigeonhole me to take me out for not being perfect in syntax. Because again, I'm no preacher. I'm just inspired today because I know somewhere out there's going to be the Mark Zuckerberg of churches, of institutions, of interests to interconnect ourselves with love. And through maybe hopefully a .org, I can sort of see this going. We can create synergy for people to be encouraged to have a chance to be heard in this play, which to me is one of the best ventures to gauge, to be a part of social optimization.